Thank you, Seth. Hello, everyone. Very happy to be here and be able to share the story of Trustpilot and also how we went to our journey to transform our organization and utilize AI and machine learning. So today I want to tell you a little bit about what is our mission, what we are doing, why we end up to really have a need for implementing AI, and then where we are in our journey and where was the application for it. So whenever we think about AI, usually as we read a lot of articles and news, it always is about advanced neural network and advanced cutting-edge technologies. But that's a very small fraction of this space. So in Trustpilot, we want to build the most trusted review platform. So we started with a very humble beginning, and we are trying to transform our organization to be AI-based. We don't have so many resources. We have a limited resources, which sometimes is good. It helps you to focus more. And we are trying to establish our organization in the right way. We want to apply the right processes and tools and be able to take it to the next level. So yes, if Trustpilot can do it, I'm sure a lot of startups and the small businesses like us can do it as well. So let me tell a little bit about the Trustpilot. So Trustpilot started in 2007 with a mission to be able to provide and help consumers during their buying journey to make a better decision. But we know that the online business in 2007, today's world is different. We are living in an era of fake news and a lot of misinformation. And we do know that we cannot trust everything that we can read. So users are consuming a huge amount of content, and it's very hard for them to trust the content that they're reading. So it becomes important for Trustpilot to sit between consumers and companies. Companies utilizing the review platform to collect reviews, collect feedback from users, be able to utilize and help to understand and scale it to the next level. And also for consumers, be able to share those reviews online and also use the reviews to make a better decision about it. And that allows us to provide an ever-improving experience for everyone. But the biggest problem here becomes the trust and how to establish trust in this engagement. We look to the Edelman Study, which is looking to the trust, behavior of trust, and how attributes of trust around the different medias, organizations, and government. And they showed us that the trust in businesses dropped to 43% compared to the year before, so 2% lower. And while users are using a huge amount of content, their trust to the digital platform that they're using is going down as well. So in this moment, as the online businesses are growing, and there is a huge emphasis on those, building trust on the online shopping experience becomes really crucial. So let's look at that user journey. The study showed that 86% of the consumers in UK and US, when they see Trustpilot Trustmark on the ads, they trust those more. 92% of users read online review when they are searching. 85% of users actually investigating businesses online and checking their reviews before they make a purchase. 89% of the users are telling that actually review is really influencing their decision before purchase. And after purchase, consumers who are buying, they expect that the platform allows them to leave review, share their experiences. That shows the significance of how much reviews are actually impacting the entire user journey on the consumer online shopping experience. And it becomes Trustpilot's mission to look to the entire flow and then be able to provide and make sure that all those reviews are trustworthy, so users, consumers can make a best decision out of them, and they're trustworthy so companies can also learn from those feedbacks and reviews and to be able to improve their services. Let's look at from the number point of view. So we are collecting all these reviews. So We have one review every 2 seconds is published in Trustpilot. We are collecting it from over 28 countries from multiple languages. We have so far around 70 million reviews collected. By end of 2020, that will actually reach 200 million reviews. We have over 3 billion impressions per month out of those reviews that is seen by people. And that puts us to be in 1% most visited website. When you look to the number of reviews we are collecting at any second and any minute, it shows such a big challenge it is to really manage this entire amount of reviews and be able to utilize it, be able to monetize it, and be able to really give something back to consumers as well as to companies. So let's look at it from the data point of view. Since beginning of Trustpilot, so far we managed to have 560 terabytes of the data ingested, and it still is growing. We have 55 terabytes of that as a big data, which is unstructured, semi, or structured set of data. And we have 30 terabytes of data on the data platform, which is the data which is cleaned, processed, or tagged. We managed to create a data warehouse where we are putting 17 terabytes of the data, which we make that to be available for the users. And then that will allow us to create an insight out of it. So for any company who's managing a huge amount of data, it becomes essential to manage that data ecosystem in such a way that they can understand where the data is coming, how they can categorize them, and how to create these data warehouses where inside company can tap to that data in much easier way and be able to utilize it. So when we look to this amount of data, it becomes how should we handle it? How should we manage it? How should we monetize it? How should we utilize it? That's where it became to us that the only solution for us to move forward is utilizing artificial intelligence. So it becomes essential for us to look and see without artificial intelligence and transferring our organization becomes an AI-based organization, there is no way for us to be able to utilize that data. So we started to think. We started to create a vision about what we want to achieve and why we want to achieve there. We want to think big, so make sure that we are looking to all opportunity out there, but definitely starting small because we want to achieve some goals. So first, we started to create a layer on the company foundation. We want to adopt the AI-based culture, so we make sure that people at least have a conceptual understanding of what AI is and what AI can do for them. We want to make sure that we are a data-centric company, means that we are looking to where data is coming from and how we can process those data, and also provide AI education for everybody inside the organization. The next layer, which is very important for any company who want to go through this transformation, is to understand what is their user journey. We are now dealing with consumers and companies, and we are understanding the entire engagement flow and looking to see what are the areas that we have to collect these data, and then how we are able to analyze and process that data in the right way. And that creates the good understanding of engagement model, allowing to have a multi-point data collection and then processing it and feeding it to the AI. The next becomes how to build the product out of it. So really setting up the teams to be in the right way, to bringing a data scientist closer to the team organization and try to promote the concept of using the AI as much as possible. And then looking to the AI-based solution that actually really attach to the strategic goal, and then be able to, as you go through that process, collect the data, collect the learnings, and then be able to share it with the rest of the organization. This way, we started to really tap and build the right transformation plan and started to do that. So I'm going to show you guys 2 examples of where we applied AI in our organization. The first stop was to where to apply. So most of the companies are jumping on the revenue-based solution. So they're looking to apply AI where there is a possibility of generating revenue. We look at it in a different way. We look to our business, and our business is actually based on reviews. So we have to make sure that these reviews that we are collecting is trustworthy, and there is no fake or fraud reviews there. We already know that we have the humans there, and we have around 50 compliance team looking to these reviews and try to inspect them. We're also tapping to crowdsourcing. We're allowing consumers or companies inform us if there is a fake review there. And we are getting around more than 5,000 notifications per month. But that was not enough to allow us to scale our business. So we started to build the software and build the algorithm around using different AI techniques that constantly 24/7 looking to all the reviews that are coming to our platform and checking those with multiple parameters. We have a fake review score. If each review reached to the certain score, if the fake review score is high, the system automatically removes the review and then informs the reviewer about that action. So that allowed us to suddenly be able to scale our business, and now more than 80% of those fake reviews are collected and identified using the AI without any human to be involved there. As soon as we managed to make sure that our reviews and our content, which is really coming to our engine, is correct, we started to think, what are other ways of application of AI? So next stop for us was Review Insight. So the problem was that the successful companies who are working with Trustpilot, they are getting around 1,000 to 10,000 reviews a month. It becomes very challenging for them to how to read, understand those reviews, how to be able to understand which one they have to reply to, which one has a good comment to make, and how to understand those reviews and apply it to their business and improve the experience. So what we started to build is we built a sentiment classification model, which is based on the stratified sampling, and that allows to create a supervised sentiment model, which also includes the unsupervised word modeling inside. That model that we created allowed us to run 35 million reviews through it and create 85 million sentiments out of it. So we understood out of each of those reviews what are the sentiments that are coming out there. So let me show you a demo. So in this demo, you can see a company who's applying and using Review Insight. And they have selected 3 topics of customer service, price, and website. At any moment, they can look back and select a period of time and look and see with each of these topics as they select, what was the sentiment in last month. If they have changed anything on their website, if they adjusted their price or improved their experience, they can automatically look and see if the reviews that are coming has a positive sentiment about it. Or if they have done any changes, that automatically creates a negative sentiment. And that way they can go back and make sure that those changes are done in the right way. One thing which was very interesting for us to learn, when consumers are leaving 5-star reviews, which is the highest score, it doesn't mean everything is perfect. So usually on those reviews, you have a negative sentiments. And usually companies, before Review Insight, they were just saying, OK, these guys are very happy, so let's focus on those which are not happy. Actually, we're now reversing it. Those customers, which are usually loyal customers, providing 5-star, but they have a negative sentiment there, that I'm happy about everything, but there was something wrong about a part of the service. And that way, companies can really focus in that area and reply to those emails which are really essential and important. So I managed to explain what happened, what is happening inside Trustpilot, where are the areas that we are applying AI, and show you guys 2 examples of that one. And now we can deep dive a little bit more with Seth about how we managed to implement those. Thank you.
That's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I think the thing that stood out to me when we've talked before and here again is that you guys went from no AI to AI, which is it's a big leap for any company. And as you mentioned, Trustpilot's not a huge company,
yes.
Right? So this is it's a very, I mean, the slide that's up now kind of spells it out a bit. But can you speak to some of the organizational challenges that you had there? And specifically, as you said, the initial problem was a data problem,
yes.
Right? So specifically how you handled organizing and structuring all that data.
Absolutely. I think as an organization, there were a couple of important areas for us. First one was we are just tapping to the opportunity of AI. So we are really in the beginning of our journey. And the first thing for us was the focus. As you said, we don't have enough resources, so it's very important for us to say what we really can do. We try to avoid build a laser cutter if we need a knife. So what we end up to do, we really start to not really fall in love with the technology and really focus on the outcome. So we started to allow our teams to try to demystify AI and try to do some practices. We allowed them to get the education and run, and we said it's okay to fail in the beginning, as we are in the beginning of the journey. So that was a very important part of it. And also connect it with the strategy of the company. So usually it happened for us in the beginning. If the activity that you are doing around the AI is not necessarily matching the need of the business that you have, you may end up to do something that you cannot really move it to production. The second part, which was really essential for us, was to the data quality. What data we gather and why we are gathering those data. If we are looking to the consumer journey, are we really looking to the entire journey? Are we collecting all those data points? And are we processing it in the right way? And that becomes really essential, how to tag it, how to categorize it, how to bring the data in the right format to the data warehouse where that is going to be accessible. And the last one, I think, is the ethical issues, which becomes really challenging. As you are running all these models, it all produces some result. So what kind of action do you want to take based on those results?
Right, so it's interesting. I mean, you kind of connect the dot between the way the thing works and the ethical questions that surround it, right?
Yes.
Did you have any special challenges around the ethical part that you had to solve?
Oh, yes. We are dealing with lots of those cases, and we are actually going through it. I can give you a couple of examples. One example is around how you build a model and how aggressive the model is, how you treat the data and go after behaviors. For example, it's more like a law and order case. How many criminals do you want to arrest if maybe 10 of those are innocent people? So for us is that how to make those models to be as tight as possible, so you end up to identify 1,000 fake reviews, but 10 of those are actually trustworthy reviews. So that's a dilemma that we are dealing with, and we're trying to adjust those models accordingly to make sure that we are doing as good as possible for us to do. Another area is actually going to be around transparency. As we are building all these models, not everything is going to be perfect. And that puts us in a very challenging situation. So we want to be as transparent as possible to be able to educate the companies, for example, using Review Insight, about how those Review Insight is working, what are the possibility corner areas that we might not be correct, and how they can really analyze and utilize this service in the best way. And another challenge that we are dealing with of how to utilize or manage these models in the right context. For example, you might be able to use, let's say, Wikipedia to create a language model, which is very good when you have a good content, right grammar, right spelling. But when we can't apply that model on the reviews, because reviews are not clean data, they're not structured, they definitely, in many cases, don't have the right spelling. So it becomes essential for us to understand where we are using those and what will be the context of it. Example of a word, cheap, usually thinking about creates a negative bias. But in many reviews, they're leaving that, hey, I purchased a cheap product, with meaning that the money I paid for the value I got was a really good deal. So we are trying to deal with all of those situations and ethicals to make sure that in which part we are actually making a right decision.
Right. So yeah. So you have this unique challenge where you're not just, when you're looking at the language, it's not only that you have to deal with the vagaries of the English language. You have to deal with commenters on the internet.
Yes.
Who misspell things, and
Yes.
they tend to be fairly lazy often
Indeed.
with
Very quick
their
True.
comments down.
True.
Well, and so with that in mind, and we're only talking about the English language. We haven't even gotten into other languages. So with that sounds like the next challenge. So what's the next phase for you guys as you find ways to perfect this platform?
Yeah, absolutely. You make a very good point. So we are collecting all these reviews from multiple countries, different languages, and creating model around English language is definitely is much easier, but when you look to other languages, it becomes tougher. For example, we are starting to have a discussion with IBM Watson around having some collaboration with them on Nordic languages. So Trustpilot is in the very unique position having this unique content, which is different than having really correct, grammatically correct or spelling correct languages. So we are talking with IBM Watson to see if we can provide this anonymized data to them, so they will be able to improve their models. And then through that collaboration, we can look to that model and then try to see how we can apply it to our system. So that's the area that we are hoping to start to have more collaboration with different organizations to be able to transfer all the models that we are having an application of it to multiple languages.
Excellent. So I think we're at time. I would love to keep talking about this all day, but I think we have another session coming up. So thank you so much for your slide and the conversation.
Absolutely.
I really appreciate your insight.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you.